Mock Draft Monday is back, and Rome Odunze is not only wide receiver 2, but we're pairing him with Justin Herbert with the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to talk about this and more coming up next.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Locked On family? Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on X at DP_NFL. I'm a national scout and a senior draft analyst. And guys, thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. We appreciate and we love y'all, man. But I got to kick this introduction over to my guy, Mr. LSU himself, Keith Sanchez. You can find and follow him on X at The Talent Code. Can you talk to him, baby?
What's up, Locked On family? This is Keith Sanchez, 2019 national champ with those LSU Bengal Tigers, and what, man, the other side to this dynamic duo that we call the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, where we talk everything college football, we talk everything NFL football, and like we like to say, it all starts with the NFL Draft. And DP, it is what? It's not just any Monday, man. It is a mock Draft Monday, man. You know, my most excited thing to do is the mock drafts over here on the Locked On NFL Draft. And DP, we're going through NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, man, and we hinted at it. One big time selection he had, right? Rome Odunze going to the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert, man. That should be a fun pairing, but there's a lot of pairings in this mock draft. So, hey, we know this is going to be an exciting show, so go ahead, hit the like button. Don't forget to comment at the end of each segment, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. But DP, before we get started with this mock draft, man, why don't you hit them with our title sponsor?
LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, family, you know how it goes. We go through the first 10 picks. At number 1, the Chicago Bears take Caleb Williams, quarterback from USC. At number 2, the Washington Commanders select quarterback from North Carolina, Drake May. At number 3, the New England Patriots select Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU. At number 4, the Arizona Cardinals select Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver from Ohio State. At number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers select Rome Odunze, a receiver out of Washington. At number 6, the New York Giants select Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU. At number 7, the Tennessee Titans select offensive tackle from Notre Dame, Joe Alt. At number 8, the Atlanta Falcons select Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama. At number 9, the Chicago Bears select Jarrett Verse, edge rusher from Florida State. And at number 10, the New York Jets select Taliese Fuaga, offensive tackle from Oregon State. Guys, you know where I'm going to. If you listen to the opening, I told you, Rome Odunze not only going top 5, but being wide receiver 2. Caught me off guard. But at the same time, Keith, as you know, and family, if you know, I'm high on Rome Odunze, right? Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbors are my wide receiver 2, A and B. And if you ask me at any particular moment, A might be different one day and B might be different one day. I can't really choose at this particular point because I love what both of these guys bring. But pairing Rome Odunze with the Los Angeles Chargers, I love this because now, to me, it gives them a true guy that they can build as that wide receiver 1, right? He can kind of fill both the kind of what Mike Williams does in terms of playing at the catch point, being that big X receiver, but he also can reduce down into the slot and be that savvy, nuanced route runner and fill the Keenan Allen role, right? And then that also allows like Justin Herbert, who's young but paid, and now he has 2 back-to-back first-round young wide receivers to grow with in terms of Rome, and then last year's Quentin Johnston, who we saw start to flash a little bit more down the stretch during the 2023 regular season. So, man, Rome Odunze being not only a top 5 pick, but the second receiver off the board right after Marvin Harrison Jr., and then right before Malik Neighbors, that's big time, but I like this fit a lot, Keith.
Yeah, I think when I seen it, honestly, DP, I thought that the selection was somewhat redundant. But the more that you look at the way that this team is currently constructed, right, I think it makes a lot of sense. And you talk about the the timing, right, and where this team is. The Chargers look like they're somewhere in between a team that was built to win now, right, and a team that's still trying to rebuild to get to where they truly want to be. Like everything, all of the players on the roster are not necessarily in sync with each other as far as their career and where they are in their career, right? Like when you look at a Mike Williams right now, he's returning from an ACL injury. Keenan Allen is a veteran, right? And you look at that part of it, you kind of say, okay, these guys are kind of, I don't say over the hump like the career is done, right? But they're older wide receivers now, right? And you're talking about spending salary cap numbers and stuff like that. You draft Quentin Johnston. I think this, DP, with the Quentin Johnston situation, he needs more targets, right? And I don't know if he's going to get more targets and more reps. So I don't know if you're going to get good return on investment on your first round pick if you still have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams in the building, because naturally the ball is going to go to them. So you talk about potentially turning the page from both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and then allowing a young Justin Herbert. Now he has his young weapons that he can grow with, that he can go with, right, for the next 5-10 years. And then if you look at it from the Los Angeles Chargers perspective, you may have money to free up more to kind of fill out this roster in positions of needs, whether it's defensive tackle, right, linebacker, positions that they've needed for the past 5 years. You may could potentially go be more aggressive. So I like the Rome Odunze selection, and then them kind of being able to figure out the rest of this wide receiver core when you add in Rome Odunze, then, last year's first round pick, Quentin Johnston. DP, I'm going to go with the very next pick. The New York Giants selecting Malik Neighbors. I like Malik Neighbors. I like him a lot. Who's throwing him the football, DP? That's the question. I just don't know. I don't know. And listen, I said this again, that this is a deep wide receiver class, right? So I think finding talent, if you're just looking for another vertical threat, you can find that. Now, this would be the part, because you had 3 quarterbacks going the first 4 picks. This is where the supply and demand conversation we have, right? Is another highly talented wide receiver going to help you out if you don't have a quarterback to throw him the football? We don't know, right? We don't know. And obviously, this is not a salary, a free agent mock, right? Like you can't mock free agents in this also. So we don't, maybe that's what Daniel's thought process was going to get a free agent quarterback. But I just think, man, you have to take a shot at a JJ McCarthy, in my opinion, and try to have the opportunity to grow with him just because he has all the tools. So I like the Malik Neighbors selection because I like him as a player. I just worry that you don't get the return on investment because you don't necessarily have a quarterback to give him the football.
No, and that's the fair point there. Like at number 6, the Giants are just going to be in a very weird spot. But Keith, it's funny because I said this when Tommy DeVito won a couple games and everybody was excited. I'm like, all right, when we get to April, that excitement from back in October and November, or whenever those games happen, that excitement died because now you're in the 6th, you're at the 6th spot, and you're not in prime real estate for a quarterback unless you say, hey, let me reach for JJ McCarthy, right? Who you probably won't start day one, but I would trust Brian Daboll as an offensive play caller and the head coach to get the best out of this young man who, has shown the flashes to be an NFL quarterback, right? You're going to reach for Michael Penix. You got to see what the medicals look like. You're going to reach for Bo Nix. I don't know. But I just know at number 6, you put those measly wins that didn't help you get to the playoffs. You know what I mean? It sound good to help the locker room. It hurt your draft stock. So now you got to figure out the quarterback situation. Keith, real quick for me, these 2 picks here, 8 and 9. I like them more than 8. I like more than I thought I would. And I'm gonna tell you why I like this one. Even though we haven't graded Dallas Turner as a top 10 pick over at the Draft Network, he's still around that first round. But pairing him with Grady Jarrett, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you real quick. I want you to continue talking. Would you flip these picks? Because you're talking about 2 edge rushers for 2 edge rusher needing teams. Like, how do you have them ranked? Would they be flipped for you? Like, how would you?
100%. Yeah, no, I got Jarrett Verse over Dallas Turner right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get, like, I think it should be flipped, right? Because then I think Dallas Turner, if he was in Chicago, fits very well opposite of Montez Sweat, where then now you get yourself for Atlanta that just go-getter dude in terms of Jarrett Verse, who we know what he is, and he's still got a good ceiling as well. But I think, if you're going to go Dallas Turner here, you got David Onyemata and Grady Jarrett on the interior, right? We'll see if they keep Calais Campbell. That type of situation, the interior offensive linemen are going to have to key in on the interior defensive lineman, which means Dallas Turner will have plenty of one-on-one opportunities to continue to develop his game and be the fastball off the edge. And I think that's a good fit. But they also put Jared Verse and Montez Sweat, opposite sides of each other. You talk about really getting after the quarterback. Gervon Dexter started showing some flashes this late in the season as well, the regular season on the interior D-line. I think it would be a good fit either way, but I will absolutely have them flip because I have Jared Verse graded higher.
Yeah, DP, real quick before we transition, man, it's funny talking about, Dallas Turner and his mock draft going to the Falcons, because if he went to the Chicago Bears, DP, the crazy part is he'd be playing with Montez Sweat. And early on, my comp for Dallas Turner is Montez Sweat. I think they can have very similar career trajectory. So that'll be interesting, man, to see if that actually happens, if they flip-flopped or if Dallas Turner goes early. But DP, man, listen, we went picks 1 through 20, right? But we've been doing this a while, and we know that picks 11 through 20 is where stuff gets crazy, right? Is where stuff gets crazy. So stay tuned, man, because we're about to unveil picks 11 through 20, and I've never seen them. So you're getting my live reaction of what's going to happen. So stay tuned.
At the start of the new year, every small business owner is asking themselves the same question. What's the one move I can make that'll take my business to the next level in 2024? LinkedIn Jobs knows that your success all depends on the team you surround yourself with. That's why LinkedIn Jobs has created the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. Let's be honest here. LinkedIn is not just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, guys, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. It is why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, picks 11 through 20. At number 11, the Minnesota Vikings select Byron Murphy II, defensive tackle from Texas. At pick 12, the Denver Broncos select Terrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama. At pick 13, the Las Vegas Raiders select Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle from Penn State. At pick 14, the New Orleans Saints select quarterback Bo Nix out of Oregon. At pick 15, we got the Indianapolis Colts selecting Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. At pick 16, the Seattle Seahawks select Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle, offensive lineman from Washington. At pick 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Quentin Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. At pick 18, the Cincinnati Bengals select J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama. At pick 19, the Los Angeles Rams select Latu Latu, edge rusher out of UCLA. And at pick 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers go back to Georgia at the offensive tackle position and draft Amarius Mims. Keith, there's a lot. You said it in the transition. You said, man, picks 11 through 20 is typically it's got a lot going on. And Keith, I got to go here first. Olu Fashanu. And reading his little blurb, he said teams are split on Fashanu. After a dominant 2022 season, he took a step back in 2023, but the talent is still immense. And if you remember, inside the top 10, the New York Jets selected Taliese Fuaga. And I'm like, you know me, I gave, you see my grades at the Draft Network. I gave Taliese the first round. Yeah, I'm still not drafting Taliese over Olu. You know what I mean? You could talk about the technical refinement part of Olu's game that has to be developed, and I get that, right? Now, if you feel like for me, Keith, what this tells me, the teams are really split on him. The teams who are down on him means that they don't trust their offensive line coach to get him where they are. Let's call a spade a spade. You don't trust yourself to be able to coach this young man to the place that his talent says he should be. So that's more of a you thing, not a Olu thing. But just to see him fall here, and I love the fit from a standpoint of getting him with Antonio Pierce, who's the actual head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders now. No more interim. I think putting him there, Antonio Pierce is going to run the football, right? They got to get the quarterback in there. Aiden O'Connell's not the answer. They got to get a quarterback, but able to run the football and coach this young man up. I trust what they'll be able to do with the Las Vegas Raiders to get Olu right in the place that we know him to be as one of the top tackles in this class. Not OT3, but around that OT1, OT2 spot. So this was the first thing that caught my eye.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely an interesting selection of him sliding down the board at pick 13. DP. I don't even, it's so many places you can go. I don't even know where to go. You know what? I'm going to just go to the very next pick, but I want to go to the top to pick 11. So I'm going to start with pick 14. I got to just rattle off a couple thoughts, DP. I just got to go with it. Pick 14, Bo Nix to the New Orleans Saints, right? And they definitely need another quarterback. Saints fans are not happy with Derek Carr, DP. They said they off the card. They want a new card. They brought the card back to the shop. They've said it all. I promise you, they've been saying it all down here in Bayou Country, DP. So I think that's an interesting selection because I don't know, right? I think that's still a gamble at pick 14, talking about Bo Nix and what he offers and what he provides if he can be the next guy up with the New Orleans Saints. Pick 15, DP. I was so stuck on the New Orleans Saints pick, I didn't even realize the Brock Bowers to Anthony Richardson situation because I was still stuck on the New Orleans Saints and the Bo Nix. That I totally skipped over that when you were talking. But looking back at it, I actually like that selection. I think that's a good situation for Anthony Richardson, another guy he could get the ball to in the short areas of the field, right? And he could convert, run after catch ability. I actually think that has opportunity to be a very electric combination. Can we go back up to the top?
Yes, absolutely.
Pick 11. This is a very aggressive move with Byron Murphy. I like it. They need a disruptive guy, and it's Byron Murphy to the Minnesota Vikings. People who have been following us out every day, as you know, I came on here 2 months ago, right, talking about Byron Murphy and the potential that he has. Listen, and I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it because everybody's really close to saying it, but nobody wants to say it, right? Mm-hmm. And that's Byron Murphy reminds people of Aaron Donald. I said it, DP. Nobody wants to say it, but I said it, okay? He reminds people of Aaron Donald, and that's why people are going to continue to be aggressive on him. We had Kalijah Kancey last year in the draft. You know, he went, top 20 to the Tampa Bay Bucks, right? Mm-hmm. Byron Murphy, I think, is even closer to that mode, and I think that's why people are going to dive in and they're going to be all in on him. So that's the first couple picks that came to mind, DP. I'm going to pass the baton to you.
No, I like that. And another name to throw out when Byron Murphy is, I talked about him in the first, Grady Jarrett, man. Grady Jarrett, yep. Similar body type, similar games. And when you can be in that Grady Jarrett, the Aaron Donald sphere as a prospect, you in good business. You in good company, Byron Murphy. You in really good company. Yeah, Keith, I think, man, it was so much, man.
I'd say real quick with the Vikings, because they've been needing like a disruptive run stopper. And if you're not going to go after that guy, then fine, just go get a disruptive player, period, right? And Byron Murphy has the opportunity to be there.
No, 100%, man. I think 15, I'll go to 15. Brock, like they haven't needed tight end. They need a real dude at tight end. I think Kyle Granderson is a okay guy. You know, their build are similar, but when I look at Brock, even though he's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", he plays at the catch point. He extends, right? He extends the catch radius, where I don't see that with Granderson. Like, if Anthony Richardson is throwing the ball helmet or higher, Granderson didn't typically come down with a lot of those passes, man. Even back in the preseason, right? And early in the season, I'd rather get a guy that could be an elite pass catcher at the tight end position, which I absolutely love. Because I go down and I say, okay, number 19, who allowed this to take place? Huh? What are we doing, NFL? You allow Laiatu Latu. So, okay, you're telling me you already struggle to block Aaron Donald. All right, that's already a problem in itself. Now you got Byron Young that they drafted day 2 of the 2023 NFL draft. I think he had anywhere from 6 to 8 sacks. I think maybe 7 to 8 sacks or something like that as a rookie. He was an impact player for them, getting after the quarterback and all that. Now you tell me, all right, we're going to add, you're going to let him fall right to Los Angeles, right? Keep him on the West Coast. And you get Laiatu Latu. So Laiatu Latu, Aaron Donald, Byron Young. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine if you really feel that confident in your offensive line, NFC teams, that you allowed the most nuanced and polished pass rusher in this class to fall down the board to be paired with Aaron Donald. To me, that sounds like a bad decision, but I don't make the decisions for y'all. This is Daniel Jeremiah's mock. It's not mine. But if this were to happen, I call highway robbery, because it's a bad decision on the teams ahead of them to because Keith, is crazy. It's crazy to sit there and scroll back up. Who could use edge? Who could use the edge rusher? I think Jacksonville, because you could push Trayvon Walker down, right? You know what I mean? I feel like the Saints could have used edge here.
You feel like the Saints
the Broncos could have gone
That's
edge.
not a feeling. The Saints can. The Saints can use an edge rusher. That is not a feeling.
To take Bo Nix, to select Bo Nix over Latu Latu, that is draft malpractice to me, baby. But hey, I'm not the one in the hot seat. You hear me?
Hey, DP, and you forgot another guy. Don't they have a rookie defensive tackle, Kobe Turner, who had 9 sacks this year? Right?
Forgot about Kobe. Yes.
so yeah, that Rams defensive line will be loaded and they'll be ready to roll, especially for a team that was supposed to be so bad, right? Because they didn't have first round picks. So that's definitely crazy, man, changing the narrative. But DP, let's keep this thing going. Let's keep it flowing, man. Coming up next, picks 21 from 32. And if you thought picks 11 from 20 was wild, picks 21 from 32 is fireworks all over the place. So make sure you stay tuned.
We wrapped up Christmas. We wrapped up the NFL regular season, but there's still time due to the playoffs to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Guys, right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when they place a $5 bet. New customers get $150 back in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets back, win or lose. It does not matter. The app is super easy to use, and there's so many different ways to bet, like live same game parlays. Find bets in the new Explore tab. Make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup, because FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. All right, guys. Pick 21. The Miami Dolphins go back to wide receiver and give Tua Tagovailoa Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. At pick 22, the Philadelphia Eagles go Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. At pick 23, the Houston Texans add Chop Robinson, edge rusher from Penn State. At pick 24, the Dallas Cowboys select Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle from Arizona. At pick 25, the Green Bay Packers select Graham Barton, offensive lineman from Duke. At pick 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ennis Rakestraw Jr., cornerback out of Missouri. At pick 27, the Arizona Cardinals select Cooper DeJean, cornerback out of Iowa. At pick 28, the Buffalo Bills select Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois. At pick 29, the Kansas City Chiefs select Devontae Walker, wide receiver out of North Carolina. At pick 30, the Detroit Lions select cornerback Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. Pick 31, the San Francisco 49ers select cornerback out of Alabama, Kool-Aid McKinstry. And at pick 32, the Baltimore Ravens select Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin. Keith, a lot has happened. A lot has happened in this mock. This mock is incredible. Shout out to Dan Jeremiah for giving us good content. But I got to go right here to number 23 and start out. You telling me
go ahead.
that I get to add Chop Robinson opposite of Will Anderson Jr. with D'Amico Ryans coaching up that pass rush? Sign me up, baby. You know what I mean? We got CJ Stroud balling, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, all that good stuff, man. Getting Chop Robinson, an explosive, just dynamic edge rusher who's still a little rough around the edges, no pun intended, that you have to coach some things up and smoothen out his game. But man, the potential of him and Will Anderson Jr. is so dynamic. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Trevor Lawrence. Luckily, all of you guys are mobile, right? So you can use your legs to try to get out of trouble, because Chop and Will are going to definitely put you in some.
DP, I got to go back to the very top, DP. Pick number 21. It didn't take long, DP, to set me off. And listen, man, I'm talking about Brian Thomas Jr. to the Miami Dolphins. And listen, as people that digest these mock drafts, right, when you're reading them or if you're listening to them on a podcast, however, right, and you go see, like, hey, what is some potential matchups, right? These are the type of matchups that get you, DP. They get you a little bit angry. And you don't know who to get angry with, right? Because we create mock drafts ourselves, right? And it's to the point to where what headspace are you in? Are you trying to replicate what you think the NFL team would do? Or is this your personal opinion on what you think they should do, right? And listen, I don't like this pick. I think this is a redundant pick. DP, you already have a team with blazers on it. You have fast guys on your football team. You probably have the fastest team in the NFL, and that resulted in you getting bounced in the first round. Why would you get another fast guy? Speed, DP, I will tell you this. I can guarantee you one thing. Speed is not the Miami Dolphins' problem. They are fast enough, DP. I promise you. They are fast enough down there in Miami. And then you get Brian Thomas Jr. when that's not the reason why you necessarily lost to the Chiefs, right? Or any of the other games you lost because teams punched you in the mouth. So how about you go get players at other positions, right? This offensive line, solidify this offensive line, right? Or potentially you could have been a team that got aggressive and went and got a Brock Bowers, right? A guy that can block at the point of attack and do some different things along the line of scrimmage. So the Brian Thomas Jr. DP for me is just, that one just caught me off guard. That one, I just felt like it was a redundant selection, especially for what the Miami Dolphins have intentionally drafted fast players. I don't think they need another fast guy. It's not offering another element.
No, I mean, and even reading the blurb, he says that I could see Thomas going much higher than the 21st pick in the draft, but Tua needs a benefit in this scenario, reaps the benefit in this scenario. Thomas gives the Dolphins some size without sacrificing speed alongside Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And I agree. He's what, 6'3", 6'4", 205, 210. And I remember, Tyreek Hill talked about it after the Chiefs game, after the wild card weekend. I wrote a piece on it over at A to Z Sports, and it was basically, he said that Steve Spagnuolo told his corners, be physical at the line of scrimmage, get your hands on these speed guys, right? So understand that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both smaller guys that they don't do well when you make contact. So I understand the thought process here, but I do feel like this is a bit of a reach. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's not attacking Brian Thomas. I like Brian Thomas Jr. as a prospect, right? I just think that for the Miami Dolphins is that, like, if y'all haven't done anything else, y'all went after fast guys, even Devon Achane, like y'all have fast running backs. I think that y'all should probably attack other positions of need to round out that roster to become more versatile in your approach to win.
Yeah, Keith, I think for me, pick 28, getting Jerzon Newton, who's IDL 1 or 2, depends on who you ask. You know what I mean? Right now, along with Byron Murphy II. But I don't like the fit to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills need size, like how you're talking about with the Dolphins, right? The Buffalo Bills need size on the interior, right? Jerzon is another kind of undersized defensive tackle who's more set up to be a 3-tech. Well, I thought you already have that in Ed Oliver. So you're going to put Ed Oliver and Jerzon Newton on the field at the same time on 1st and 10 in December against a team that will run the football against you. I don't like that. I don't like that thought process, Keith. I'd rather get a Tavondre Sweat and then allow Ed Oliver to play that 3-tech and let him be the guy that gets after the quarterback. Let Big Sweat kind of 2-gap and plug running lanes. At the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills, I love Jerzon Newton. I feel like he's definitely a first-round pick. And again, and in the passing game, I feel like he's going to have a significant impact. But again, I don't see many defenses that thrive with 2 3-techs on the field at the same time and stop the interior run game, stop the up the middle run game, the vertical run game. I don't see that, and I this is one of the picks where I'm just like, I'm not in on. I'm out on that. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't like it, but. We'll see. Because like I said, I love Jerzon Newton. I gave him a first-round grade when I watched this tape. I just don't like this fit with what they have in Buffalo when they need more size, strength, and power, and more gap control so that their healthy linebackers can flow and not have to worry about duo blocks climbing up to the second level.
Yeah, I agree, DP. And look, we're wrapping up this thing, man, and talk about real quick a guy that I didn't see in the first round, which would be interesting, man. Be Keon Coleman. I believe I didn't see Keon Coleman at all in the first round of this mock draft, and we'll see, right? Like we said, Keon Coleman could be he can be one of those guys that was out of sight, out of mind, right? Just as far as how Florida State finished, which I don't think it should finish like that. We're only in the middle to end parts of January. We still have the combine and things like that for him to make his name plenty relevant. But that was definitely a name that popped up to me. But DP, man, listen, we're talking about Mock Draft Monday. That wraps up another Mock Draft Monday show, man. I want to say shout out to our everydayers. Thank you for tapping in with us each and every single day on this Mock Draft Monday. Like we said, man, if you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't commented, go ahead and comment, man. If you like what your team did, if you didn't like what your team did, let's talk about it, man. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the fastest channel there is out there for everything NFL draft content. We are the go-to source for the best NFL draft content. Listen, man, I am Keith Sanchez. You can find me on X at The Talent Code. That right there, man, that is my co-host, man, Damian Parson, man. You can find him on X at DP_NFL. And like we like to say, man, y'all talk to us because we like to talk back.
Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to the podcast to get the latest episode as soon as it is available, y'all. Thank you so much for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers, man. We have so much more. We got more Senior Bowl prep to do this week, guys. Some stock up, stock down. So listen, come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.